see. Little F for Amazing Toaster. Looks like it might be Strength Agility, if I recall. And everyone else, I think, is Strength HP, and we're going to see what's going on in the throne room.
Well, it looks like we get to start with some fairy water, a death necklace, and of course the obligatory magic key so that they can exit the throne room. And quick look at the stats. Not too pretty.
Yeah, Strength 7. At least we got double-digit agility, but yeah, in Chaos, often when this is the case, unless they're starting with some good spells, basically every enemy around here might be virtually unbeatable on level 1, except for what they call the Wet Noodle, which is one designated super weak enemy that's put somewhere within zones 0, 1, or 2. Correct, Ryu Station? I think you would know that better than me. Doesn't necessarily have to be right at zone 0, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. Zone 0, 1, or 2. And actually, if we take a look at Amazing Toaster and Will Wagner's side, I think we have found said noodle. It looks to be the Rogue Scorpion here. And Will Wagner will kick things off with level 2. And actually some fairly nice stats.
Alright, and at least on our end, Smashy may have gotten a late start here, but he's got the things in the throne room, and he'll see if he can find himself the Rogue Scorpion as quickly as possible. So, I thought I saw one on Tristal's screen, but maybe it wasn't. I know he's found the Magic Wyvern and the Droll Magi, neither of which we're excited to see him, sending him back to the throne room really fast. But yeah, this first kill, finding and identifying and taking out that first monster, it's one of the major challenges. And look at this 220 for, I believe that was the Wolf Lord on Will Wagner's side. That's one to remember for later.
Oh yeah, that was indeed a Wolf Lord, and was certainly needed as the next level after killing the Rogue Scorpion was 161 experience away, so that still only actually got level 3. Rather actually unusual for Chaos is usually when you see a 220 gain, we're expecting to see a couple of levels in that one, but not this time around.
And Tristal's found a town, and of course the nearby town is the town of Hawksness, which is not necessarily one you want to see right in the beginning of the game, but that will certainly come into play later once they've become much stronger and have some better spells to work with. Amazing Toaster does have the initial 56, but he dies to a Magic Wyvern, unable to find a second Rogue Scorpion so far.
Yeah, Hawksness unfortunately is not too friendly a place to be. When you see towns, you're hoping, shopping is in mind. Tristal and Smashy actually both did find that. I believe Tristal caught sight of a second town, which with a Death Necklace start, you could sell it for 1,800 and potentially buy some equipment.
Here we go for Tristal, Rogue Scorpion on the screen. And Smashy has a Rogue Scorpion in his screen. So will we have everyone off the ground in under 5 minutes? And a Chaos Seed? That would be fantastic. There have definitely been Chaos Seeds in the past where somebody goes for, close to a half an hour without a kill while the other person's getting ready to finish the game. So looks like we'll have a nice balanced competitive race here if they both manage to take their initial Rogue Scorpions here. Tristal getting a little low on HP, but he does it. So they're all off level 1. This is shaping up to be a nice race now.
I can personally remember Tristal experienced that himself from the Chaos tournament last year, where I believe there was a hour where he was just having no luck at all.
Now I'll tell you what, I feel like at least on Will Wagner's side, I feel like he should be trying to find the zone where he saw the Wolf Lord. So I don't know if that was over in the East Zone. But yeah, once you find one that's, over 200 experience, you kind of want to hunt those guys down for a little while. Instead of taking out all these lesser monsters worth very little experience. Here's a Wolf Lord for Amazing Toaster, and he's already got 330 experience. So now he's up to the 500s, just like that. And that wasn't even enough for a level up Ryu, so we might have one of these long level ups early on in the race. That's kind of interesting.
It certainly seems that way, and Smashy has found the second town was actually Breckenary, which, typically you see Breckenary and your first response is, Breckenary. But, in Chaos, one of the nice things is the price of equipment is randomized. Unfortunately, in this case, it was randomized to a point where it's not going to be affordable for anything that's located in this shop other than a bamboo pole.
Yeah, so oftentimes when that's the case, you're going to want to try and figure out if you can gold grind for some money in order to get that equipment. But too soon for that, as they don't have any locations that could have keys or anything of the sort. Will Wagner's also going to check out the shop now, so get another look at it. Yeah, looks like even the club is in the 4-digit range. That's not such a good buy.
We do get level 4 on AmazingToaster's side. Stats were decent, but the thing we're still missing here is we haven't seen any spells for the run.
So, quick look at the our tracker in the middle there lists exactly what's going on for week 5, which in addition to being chaos, remember also that we are on the 50% version of experience leveling. So levels in theory should be coming faster than normal. We've kind of gotten an odd one here where we're only on levels 4 and 5 and we have 4 digits of experience already for AmazingToaster, but the end game level in theory could be quite a bit lower experience wise than usual. So the importance of grinding is lessened in these seeds with that flag. Also, we're going to have short Sharlock, so possibly some more opportunities to be a bit more aggressive about going in and fighting the Dragon Lord. Just, experimenting. It might only cost you a minute or two to get in there and get in a fight with the Dragon Lord. So those are the flag sets for tonight. And we're off and running pretty quickly. 1,400 experience for AmazingToaster already. My goodness.
And that earned him level 5, but only gave outside. So no useful spells at the moment, although Will Wagner did see a cave before being sent back to the castle, so we do at least have a cave to explore at some point.
Yeah, and that's one of the ways that you could find keys. In the more recent versions of Randomizer, there's, I think, maybe 3 keys that are available in chests somewhere. Could be, chests in Sharlock and things like that, but it's a little easier to find keys in a chest. You don't necessarily need Rimuldar, although that's certainly a fantastic way to acquire keys as well. But yeah, it might be a great idea to go explore that cave and see if you can get to some treasure chests as soon as you can survive a few battles here.
Oh yeah, keys, gold, or even sometimes the ever-important Erdrick Sword, which can definitely make your early game a lot easier, being able to take out most enemies with just one quick swing.
So AmazingToaster level 5, still no spells at all? Is that what's going on in this seed? What is happening with the randomization?
Well, no useful spells anyway. We saw outside, but until we start exploring caves, that won't be useful.
Yeah, unless that one cave happened to be Swamp South, I suppose. In which case outside could be pretty useful there. I don't know if anyone even peeked in to try and identify the cave or not. But
I don't think anyone looked yet, and poor Tristal was working on a Droll Magi and actually got an excellent move for some decent damage, but then it had the spell of heal, and a quick reset was...
And Smashy's a bit behind. He's just gotten a couple of Rogue Scorpions, the only thing he's been able to kill so far. And Magi Wyvern is too strong. He's pretty far behind experience-wise, but that could change, as it sounds like just the next level or two gets you to the point where you can fight several other enemies in the area successfully, as all 3 of our other runners seem to be having success with most items. And I see Hurtmore now on AmazingToaster's screen, level 7. So that's good news. Now, some enemies will have some resistance to the hurt spell. It's, that all that sort of thing is pretty randomized in Chaos, but still an excellent pickup there. Hurtmore level 7 makes equipment slightly less urgent.
And we see another couple of levels on Toaster's side holding Radiant and Repel as well. We saw a rather amazing 25 power increase, but we also saw some zeros in the stat gains, one of them being HP, and that is certainly an important one to see some big gains.
So here's the thing, AmazingToaster now, he popped into Hawksness for a minute, but he's almost out of resources. There's a town right nearby. I'm kind of curious if he's going to hit an inn and then go straight back and check out the Hawksness boss monster, because he does have Hurt More now, and that's often an excellent way to dispatch of a boss monster on the spike tile there. It's a 1 in 3 chance Erdrick's Armor could be laying right there. So first, it looks like he is going to pick up the bamboo pole, but... Oh, and leather armor. Alright, so he's got some bare minimum equipment, but let's see if he goes back to Hawksness to use that Hurt More spell.
I would have to say that would be the best option. I'd be very surprised if Toaster doesn't go back and at least try it. I mean, you're not going to lose much time or much resources, should it happen that it can take you. Level 9 and only 34 max HP though, so whatever he runs into, it's going to have no Hurt More, no Dragonlord Breath, and not punch for a ton.
Yeah, that's some fairly low HP. Now, he is on the Strength Agility build, remember, so he's going to be slightly penalized with HP compared to his opponents by this stage of the game, level 9. But even so, that's pretty low for level 9, and you're right. He's going to have to basically be able to one-shot the enemy with Hurt More, or else he might be facing some pain. But it all depends on exactly what this boss monster is. I saw a seed recently where it actually didn't attack for very much. The reason it was there is because it had super high agility, so it was hard to physically damage it. But, that doesn't affect your ability to use Hurt More against the enemies, so it's definitely worth checking out.
No, it doesn't, but we see Warlocks who also like to use Hurt More comboed with the sleep spell, sending Toaster right back home.
And Tristal and Will are on the Zone 0 grind. No, I don't know if the Wolf Lord was popping up in Zone 0, if that's what they're looking for specifically. Oh, it is popping up there, okay. So that's why they're sticking around to the initial zone. And that level 4 was a pretty long level up, but Tristal's finally gotten past it, and we have level 5 now. And he's going to level up pretty quickly from here.
Ooh, and Droll Magi is worth 235, and they're within that original zone as well. Now, the interesting thing here is they could actually be crossing in between 3 different zones here, as we see Tristal's just making a square pattern, because where the zone starts could be just one square of the castle is in Zone 0, and then just one south is Zone 1, and to the right is Zone 2. So it just really depends on how those zones were laid out here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to kind of note which enemies are popping up on which tiles to try and hone in on how those are laid out. But Werewolf, one of the enemies they've seen already in the overworld, so AmazingToaster takes care of that. And he's going to check out. He does have some herbs. He's going to check out. It's a blue dragon. And it is susceptible to Hurt More, but it doesn't go down.
It does deal a decent amount of damage.
And no resistance to Hurt More that we saw, so down it goes, and we do have Erdrick's Armor. So that is a great pickup. The Blue Dragon was no match for the spellcasting of AmazingToaster.
Yeah, but AmazingToaster was no match for the beaten stick from that magician.
Yeah.
Even with Erdrick's Armor, knocked him.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's a great pickup. There's all sorts of beneficial reasons why the Erdrick's Armor is so awesome, especially on the early side of the seed. So he'll be striking out and trying to cover the rest of the map now as quickly as possible. The point, after all, is we are going to try and eventually look for these quest items, meaning the Staff of Rain, the Erdrick's Token, and the Stones of Sunlight. Those are typically found in treasure chests scattered throughout the world for the most part. The token does have a chance of being on a search spot. But at some point, especially with very fast experience gaining, you're going to need to start covering this map. Grinding at some point is just going to become overkill. So, AmazingToaster, he's got to get moving now. He's got Erdrick's Armor. Let's go.
Unfortunately, he's trying to move, and he's being denied.
Yeah, you know what? The low hit point total is definitely a factor.
Yeah,
For sure. So.
Druins were still doing over 20. Magicians are hitting for over 20. I mean, you have 2 hits, and either you take it out or it takes you out. And the thing to keep in mind is, although AmazingToaster does get the armor, and that is certainly a huge find, as is getting Heal More now at level 11, we know that Hurt More is right around the corner in levels, and Hawksness is also just right around the corner, so it's not something you're going to have to do a lot of searching for, so you have to take advantage of it while you can, because once everybody else has it, that advantage is gone.
So this map is pretty linear, just going off to the right past these 2 towns every time. AmazingToaster has to like walk through these zones every time, which still just 38 hit points maximum. That seems to be the major challenge, is just kind of staying alive with these low hit points. But he's got another level already. So just like that, we're up to level 12, and basically almost none of the map has been explored. So
still not seeing much in the HP gains either. Only 2 on that level.
I feel like this is setting us up for one of those, when you get like 40 or 50 HP on one level up, because we're just getting like 0s and 1s and 2s, and this is pretty late in the game to only have about 40 max.
It's either going to be one of those huge HP gaining levels, or it's going to be one of those you're going to have to grind if you want that HP.
You got to get to level 20 or something. Yeah, that would be pretty unusual. But level 20 is not too crazy far away in the very fast experience mode, so it wouldn't be the end of the world. So finally he's getting out of that initial zone. We're going south now for AmazingToaster. While Tristal gets off those early levels, I thought I saw him in Hawksness. Did he get the armor?
He took a peek into Hawksness, saw Blue Dragon, but only had I think 2, maybe 3 health. Tried to Hurt More, and the single Hurt More wasn't enough, so Blue Dragon took him out.
Yeah, and Smashy just seems to be just behind. Looked like he got a little late start on the seed anyways, and then, but look, we have coal for AmazingToaster. So a chance maybe to pick up the token here if he gets really lucky. And what sort of, everything is 4 digits in terms of prices here so far.
No sales of the century unless you count the bamboo pole, which, who wants that?
And we got the Nothing Burger on the search spot, so there's one more place that the token could be on a search spot, which is on the overworld, which requires getting the coordinates from an old man in the town of Cantlin. Or it could be in a chest in this seed, in which case no more search spots are required, since they already have Erdrick's armor. But time will tell. That's only the 4th or 5th actual location found so far. We have 16 total locations, that most of which you're going to have to find most of the time. 8 towns and castles and 8 caves. And so there's plenty of map left to explore.
Oh yes, there's definitely lots to explore, and Toaster finally sees a little HP gain, level 13 with a 1, 1, 15, and 1. So you traded off that 15 HP for not much everywhere else. And Will Wagner actually looks like a level 10, maybe possibly 11, depending on how much experience was. And we'll be getting Heal More here in just another couple levels, and will most likely start their exploration at that point.
Looked like Tristal went to the item shop and stocked up. And I thought he was going to go back to Hawksness, but he's going the other way. And we do have Rimular now for Toaster, so a good chance to buy some keys, as he has almost 1,000 gold saved up. And a broadsword can be bought pretty cheaply, so that's a good find here as well.
And finally, we see a decently priced item. We do get a broadsword, and we have Keytown. Tristal, however, we're seeing a cave, and we have Mountain Cave. So huge find for Tristal here, as we can find a lot of goodies really quickly in this game.
So we might see the first treasure chest opened outside the throne room here if he can get past some of these enemies. He is going to rely on the Hurt More spell, which seems to be working well against most of the enemies so far. AmazingToaster is stocking up on keys. There's one chest right here in this town of Rimaldar. And then, of course, at some point, he's going to want to go back to Tanteagle, where there is a door guarding 4 treasure chests, as well as another door leading to an additional map location. So, will he go directly back there, or just, oftentimes you know you're going to die at some point and you'll be back there eventually. Especially now that he has a broadsword, it's not like so urgent to try and find Erdrick's sword immediately. So maybe he'll continue exploring right now.
And we got a wings for our chest in Remolder and a torch for the first chest in the mountain cave. Now here's actually something that could be really good for Tristal. Mind you, we know exactly where the armor is, but if Tristal should get a key here, he could actually initiate, if there's gold in the treasury, a gold grind to be able to pick up the silver shield that was seen. Go ahead and maybe get that magic armor just to, hold yourself over till you can find Erdrick's armor. So that could also be a huge thing. It'll just depend on how everything plays out.
Yeah, when you go through... Oh, whoa! Well, we have Erdrick's sword picked up in one of the chests, as well as the silver harp.
There is some hype in the mountain cave. And meanwhile...
Which is great because the weapons weren't really available in the shops that he's seen, So if he does initiate a gold grind, it wasn't like he was going to grind up for a weapon anyways. So now he's got the best weapon in the game. Unfortunately, can't get to the last chest. So that was going to remain a mystery for a little while. And did not pick up a key in there either. So he's going to have to wait on any potential gold grinding until he gets to Rimaldar so far.
And AmazingToaster's side found the grave, but didn't get to search any chests at all.
And this is starting to be a significantly tough start for Smashy, who's still just on level 3 now, 21, almost 22 minutes into the race, while his opponents are in the double digits level-wise. It's for him, it's a race to level 7 for Hurtmore as quickly as possible. He's just got to get these levels grinded up. Find some Wolf Lords and some Droll Magi and roll up that experience as quickly as possible.
Yeah, for sure. And look at that treasury there. Magic key, herb, and I believe that last chest was gold. So there is potential for a gold grind, but nothing else really useful out of that treasury. But we see Swamp is in the back of the castle, and that is very important to keep in mind.
Yeah, could be, it's a fairly convenient location for the princess if that comes into play. Again, the token could still be laying on the map, and potentially some pretty difficult coordinates. Our first metal slime sighting seems to be not particularly strong.
And it's quick to run away, typical.
Non-randomized metal slime, what happened here?
Yeah, one of the big importances is with the back of the castle holding the swamp cave, is if you happen to need to go across to find Sharlock, you do not want to put a death necklace on unless you are certain, or you have a safety save, that you can take out the Dragon Lord. Otherwise, you will be locked out of getting there without having to go to Brecken.
Yeah, fortunately, Breckenary actually is pretty close by if that were to happen. Unfortunately, once you decurse, you can never get it back. So if they are in that situation where they really want to use it for the Dragon Lord fight, and they fail and are forced to decurse, there's the potential where they'd have to grind some more levels. But yeah, certainly you want to keep that in mind for sure.
And we have Cole for Tristal now. Finds his big nothing and will be heading on again.
I saw Will go into Hawksness and apparently also failed to get Erdrick's armor as well. So it's looking like that advantage for AmazingToaster, getting it basically on the first try once he learned Hurtmore, is paying off here.
We've got a red dragon downed on Smashy's side. Only 16 gain though.
Yeah, that's one of the major skills I would think for Chaos mode, is you need to kind of remember which enemies are worth how much experience as you learn that information throughout the seed, because you don't want to spend too much time on encounters that have low value. You want to be looking for certain monsters over time Of course, sometimes you have no choice because certain enemies are extraordinarily hard to run away from, so you might as well just fight them, I guess. But yeah, it is one of the skills, is you want to keep track of what monsters are weak and strong, and which are worth a lot of experience.
And Tristal now finding Remolder, so keys will be had for Tristal, and that advantage that Toaster had is slowly disappearing as Tristal is getting to do some more exploration now.
Yeah, Tristal never did get the Erdrick's armor though, so I would still say advantage Toaster, but yeah, the gap is closing. It's a 1,000 experience point lead right now for Toaster over Tristal, and just 500 over Will Wagner, who's done a nice job catching up experience-wise over the last few minutes.
And that level 16, 111, and I believe that was 16 MP gain. So we've had 2 levels where the other 3 stats were abysmal.
So Will's going back at the Blue Dragon. He has Heal More and Hurt More to work with. Not a whole lot of MP, but should be enough to take down this Blue Dragon this time. And he does it. So armor for Will, and he's off and running.
And we have the grave now for Tristal, with looks like maybe some extra resources compared to what we saw at Toaster, but we have Wraith Knights who also have Hurt More, and we'll send him back.
And Smashy is still just grinding, I think, in the west zone west of Tanteagle. He's stuck on that really long, remember, level 4 was kind of a long way to level 5, and it took quite a bit of grinding to get off this level, and he's just still stuck in the middle of it. Can't find those high value enemies. I think right next to the castle was the Wolf Lord and the Joel Magi. Maybe those are still a bit tough for him to fight at level 4, but this has become a very tough uphill battle for Smashy, falling way behind.
And running into that Magi Wyvern with the sleep spell, we have the Tablet Cave being found for AmazingToaster now.
Yeah, 1 chest available here for free, assuming you can get in and out without getting lost. And it's gold. Tristal is going to explore the other side of Swamp Cave, and possibly we have Radiant. I thought maybe he was going to go for the Princess, but nope. Just identifying the cave and going to the other side. Check out the second continent for a while. There's a cave directly to the north. Which one was that?
I believe that was actually the Staff of Rain cave there. So we actually, we're starting to run out of chests to check here.
And you know what? Tristal's the one that has the harp. He's the only one that found it. He went through the mountain cave, found the harp. So
oh, that's
great
true.
Routing here for him to find the Staff of Rain cave. He can take care of it on the first go.
And that'll definitely get that out of the way for him, and won't have to come back later. We're actually starting to run a little low on chests that we can check. We only have the Stones of Sunlight cave chest. We have 1 chest we didn't get to see in the bottom of the mountain cave, and then we have Garenham and the Grave.
Yep, the Stones of Sunlight guaranteed to be in a chest, so they are going to have to open some of those up to get that item. One of the quest items required to open the pathway to the final dungeon, Charlotte Castle. And the token is looking like it might be in one of those chests as well, although they still have not seen the old man in Cantlin, and whether or not he's going to give some coordinates today.
And of course, Old Man in Cantlin could be very important if it's the token on the world. And
yeah, we've seen no cursed belts to my knowledge, so still 3 possibilities. The old man could not give coordinates at all, in which case the flute and the token are in treasure chests. Or you could find the flute, or you could find the token. But still would be a nice thing to find, Cantlin, so far. Not yet found by any of our runners.
No, but we see Wizards with Dragon Lord Breath has been found by Tristal.
And WillWagnerMusic now has found Mountain Cave on a slightly higher level and with more resources than Tristal had. So we'll have to see if he actually is able to make it all the way to that 5th chest without running into these super powerful monsters.
And we do have a Garenham find on the Toaster's side, and a Flame Sword for 12,000. So we will not be seeing a Flame Sword purchased. And we get some fairy water. We have a chest full of nothing, and that is our Stones of Sunlight.
Ooh. So this is interesting. If the token is on the map, then it's possible that the grave will not even be required. The longest dungeon on the overworld. So that could cause potentially a little bit of a difference in routing if some players are able to skip it and others end up wasting their time going all the way through there. We don't know for certain exactly where that token is. So.
And there's your curse, one of your curse spells you were talking about, hiding in the back of Garanham and the Stones of Sunlight cave.
Okay. So it's guaranteed then that the old man in Cantlin will give coordinates because there was nothing in the search spot in Cole. So Cursed Belt means one of the search spots has to be occupied beyond the one occupied by the Erdrick's armor. So there will be coordinates. We don't know for sure if the coordinates will lead to the flute or the token. But looking like an important town to find eventually. And Will is on his way for that 5th chest, by the way, and he's still got a lot of resources, so let's see what it is.
And I believe Cantlin is the last town we need to find. We have seen every other town so far.
And Tristal beats the Blue Dragon in Hawk's Nest, so he'll grab his Erdrick's armor as well.
And we actually saw red slimes, which are quick to run away from AmazingToaster right now, were worth quite a bit of experience. I believe it was 229.
Oh, that's interesting. It's the fairy flute in the chest. So the token is on the map. It is now guaranteed. So the old man in Cantlin is going to be required, and they need to seek that out and find out what those coordinates are and track down the location on the map by any means necessary, including possibly rescuing the princess who's in the swamp cave right behind Tantico Castle.
And I believe right now the only one who has the information, although I believe Tristal is going to be going back into Mountain Cave now, but the only one who has the information that the token's on the overworld is going to be Will Wagner, as he has collected the flute, has collected the armor, and I believe has seen Cole.
I can't recall if Will ended up going through Cole or not. I think you're probably right, though. So, yeah, and he has the armor. So you're right. So he could put all that information together and potentially skip the grave, for example, if he comes across Garen's grave. The only thing... he even has the death necklace in his possession, so there's really nothing in there except potentially the fighter's ring, which you don't go all the way through the grave looking for the fighter's ring. So we'll see if he manages, if he does come across the grave, to make that decision.
Yeah, I could certainly do a good amount of saving there. If Will Wagner hadn't found Cole before, has now, so we'll certainly have all of the information. And wow, look at these stats. Level 16 with the sword, 148. Level 17 is 158 attack power.
And that silver shield was about 8,000, did I see that right? So they are going to need to do that gold grind if they want that. And I guess, I don't know if Tristal opened enough chests in here to maybe make that happen. I don't even know if Tristal has keys yet, does he? So,
Yeah, but that is definitely an important thing, is that defense of 63 at 17, so a shield would be very wanted, but that HP is still nowhere near what you need to face the Dragon Lord either.
Yeah, HP has been the story of the seed in terms of these stat gains. That's the major challenge, and it's causing a lot more deaths than otherwise you might see. And Will Wagner has access to keys now too, finding Rimuldar, so I believe 3 of our runners now have keys. Chat confirming that Tristal does have keys, so looks like he is taking the Death Warp with the intention of grinding for some gold.
And we also saw a Sharlock sighting on Will Wagner's side, which was just north of Rimuldar. So it's not far away to actually return to Sharlock, and that means that Swamp is not required to get to the Sharlock Castle.
And have we even seen like a large shield, for example, or how much it might be? Because nobody has bought a shield to any of our 4 runners yet. And like you said, that defense power rating is suffering.
We actually did see a large shield. I believe it was about 6,000 for one of those. We haven't seen a small shield that I'm aware of, though. So maybe once somebody finds Cantlin, the shopping mall with 3 shops, we'll see a small shield, or it's entirely possible that small shields don't even exist.
Yep, that's possible, and it will be a little disappointing for runners most usually to just stick with the small shield for the whole game, although it happens. It's only worth 4 defense power, as opposed to 10 for the large shield and a whopping 20 defense power bonus for the silver shield. But this is fast experience, and they're already up to the high levels here. Sometimes the shield is just not that important to go after when, you know, we have short Sharlock and an opportunity to just go straight to the Dragon Lord. So
yeah, we'll see. We see Tristal is certainly going after that gold grind. Tristal wants that silver shield, and Will Wagner has found Garen's grave, so we may finally get to see what is in those chests.
And AmazingToaster still has not seen the mountain cave. It's one of the only places he hasn't seen, because I think he's done quite a bit of exploration. And the Urgic Sword is in there, and it's required too, because Silver Harp's also in there. So that's going to be a big thing for AmazingToaster to find that dungeon. Tristal already has the sword and the armor, so the shield's the only thing he needs to buy. He's got the money for it now, and he's en route.
And Smashy still grinding away. Looks like is able to take out those Wolf Lords now, and will actually be getting to possibly level 6.
So here's the thing we were talking about, by the way. WillWagnerMusic has not really figured out that he doesn't need to come into this grave. He's in the grave. He found the herb, the torch, and the torch on the top chest, and he's going down to the bottom. And this, unless there's some really good enemies in here to fight, this is a bit of a time waster for him to come in here. Now he could potentially gold grind out of here, so it's not a total loss. But yeah, it would have been probably a better heads-up play for him to just skip this dungeon and continue looking for Cantlin.
Yeah, definitely. But we will at least get to see every chest outside of Sharlock in this case, unless something sends Will Wagner home. And a Fire's Ring could be found worth 2 attack power.
So on the other hand, I apologize. Will Wagner has not yet found the Stones of Sunlight that AmazingToaster found. So for his perspective, I guess he does need to go into these dungeons still. Yeah, I was for some reason I was thinking he had all the quest items except for the token. But he never found the town of Garenham, which is where the Stones of Sunlight were found by AmazingToaster. So yeah, it makes sense for him to come through here. And 249 experience for that monster.
Yeah, so far, AmazingToaster is the only one to have found Garenham, and level 18 looks like some decent MP.
But in the Rainbow Drop Cave, way out in the middle of nowhere for AmazingToaster, and he's gonna have to remember where that is and make the trek back here later.
Yeah, but here we have Tristal now in the grave, does not know where the token is, does not know where the flute is, and does not know where the stones is, so still gonna be searching. And yeah, level 19, we
level 19. We're talking about level 19, 38 minutes into a seed, and you know they don't even have all the items. And WillWagnerMusic is 163 attack power because he's on level 19. This is starting to get outrageous.
Well, I mean, that attack power might be needed. We'll see. It depends on what the Dragon Lord has in.
Yeah, a big thing is if the Dragon Lord has heal. Having a really good attack power allows you to fight right through the heal and do more damage than he's able to heal himself for. So that will come into play then. It is still kind of on the low side for HP when you're sometimes dealing with Dragon Lord 1 who can like hit you for 70 or 80 damage at a time. And in Chaos Seeds, you love to have a lot of HP. But every other stat is there for sure at level 19. But Will is going to continue to fight more monsters while he still looks for things, because you never know just how difficult the Dragon Lord fights are going to be.
And we see Cantlin on AmazingToaster's side, and yeah, his large shield was 6,400, so not worth it at all.
And And survey says, what do we got for coordinates here?
"45 south, 41 east."
Yeah, and the terrain
That
does
is
kind of
certainly
go southeast from the castle. I kind of think you can walk that out if you want. But the princess is also pretty conveniently available as well. So, and that is going to be the token. AmazingToaster doesn't know that, of course, because he never found the flute. But
that is certainly countable. And Will Wagner about to find Cantlin as well.
yeah, so Will needs to find Garanham for the stones, and AmazingToaster still needs Mountain Cave for the harp. So they each have like kind of an opposite thing that they're looking for. And Tristal also is going to need Garanham for the stones, and he's also going to need Cantlin eventually for these coordinates.
Yeah, good thing Tristal has Erdrick's armor there, as the slimes have Dragonlord breath.
And oh, by the way, Smashy had finally made it to level 7 a minute or two ago, and has the Hurtmore spell, and can finally escape the confines of the castle area and begin the seed. So, a lot of ground to make up for Smashy.
And the good news here is, so long as you can actually find a decent place to grind, I mean, in experience, there's only a 4k experience difference here. So at 200 experience apiece, I mean, we're only talking 10, somewhere between 10 and 20 monsters. So not far away at all to catch up.
Yeah, it is amazing what that very fast experience flag set does for you. Like the levels just come fast and furious. It's almost like you should never really stop to grind unless it's the early game, like where Smashy was, where you can't really make it anywhere without dying. So you have to grind some levels. But it's I don't even think we'll see any kind of spike tile grinding at all in this one.
I would think not, and especially we see Will Wagner level 20 now, which was only looks to be about 6,800 away. Boy, level 20 at 6,800. That's something else, considering I believe level 17 in standard flag sets with very fast is 8,000.
What happened with Will, by the way? Because he was in the grave, correct? But he didn't have the gold grind initiated there. So he opened all the chests in the treasury, but, you know, is not going to be able to acquire the silver shield right now.
Yeah, it looks like he used outside.
Okay.
He got the coordinates at Cantlin, so it looks like he is going to go ahead and possibly go get a princess here. And with the cast of Radiant, that looks like that is exactly what we're going to. Meanwhile, AmazingToaster searching grave now. We will, we of course know that it will be a fruitless search. However, won't be really losing any time, as Will Wagner, Tristal, and AmazingToaster will now have searched the.
So the Wraith Knight is the Guardian, and basically it was complete paper against a level 19 or level 20, 160 plus attack power wielding WillWagnerMusic. So no problem taking down the Wraith Knight. Princess acquired.
And here will be Cantlin for Tristal now, as Smashy heads into Hawksnest to go pick up their armor.
I think they're all three of the top runners there are Dragonlord eligible, so this experience lead for Will Wagner is not so significant anymore. It's more a matter of how quickly are they going to get the quest items so that they can actually go into Sharlock and finish the seed now.
And Will Wagner giving the princess the tour here, so collecting a Staff of Rain real quick.
Oh, I love that play. That's a nice heads-up move. And I don't know if he wants to now continue on the second continent, but I think returning from here would be a nice move. Get the staff out of the way and then return the princess. I guess he is gonna give more of a tour, and looks like this is a very small second continent anyways.
Yep, cast the repel to keep any monsters away. And if I remember correctly, Garanham was actually on the second continent. So if he continues the search on the second continent here, we'll find Garanham and get the Stones of Sunlight.
Okay, yeah, it opens up a little bit, but it still seems to be not that big of a second continent. It must be way down here in the southeast corner, is that? Tristal is way up in the northwest corner of the map. Finds a dead end of his own. He's still on the hunt for the town of Garenham as well.
And AmazingToaster finds the dragon scale hiding in the bottom of the grave. And will we see a death warp? Or looks like we're gonna see a death warp.
And Will still hasn't found the stone, so he's gonna go through the trouble of going into the tablet cave for, I think you said it was the wings.
I think Tablet Cave was a bit of gold, actually.
I thought it was wings or an herb. Let's see. Neither. It is the gold. You were right. So he's even more rich than he was.
And we have Smashy in Mountain Cave now, so Silver Harp and the Urgic Sword will be being picked up here soon.
At this rate, Will Wagner actually might be able to acquire enough gold the old-fashioned way for the Silver Shield. He's about 3,000 away. You know, he might pop into the treasury here and pick up the gold chest again, for example, on the way out. I saw him do that earlier. Just inch your way towards that Silver Shield. But right now he's got a princess so that he can track down that token.
And speaking of that Silver Shield, we saw that Tristal did do a grind for the shield. But I don't know if Tristal actually was able to make the purchase, or if Tristal died and just lost gold and didn't bother. Tristal did save, however, before venturing out, so I don't see why Tristal would have not went after it at least a second time.
Chat thinks that he did purchase the shield, so if so, he would be fully equipped. Urgic Sword, Urgic's Armor, Silver Shield is the best equipment you can get in the game. And AmazingToaster is also getting close the regular way, with having amassed a whole bunch of gold himself, so it's kind of amusing.
And looks
Players
like
have been somewhat invincible for a little while here on levels 19 and 20 with all the spells and overpowered stats, just are having trouble finding those locations for the items.
And speaking of level 20, that was level 20 for AmazingToaster, and has found the mountain cave.
Ooh, that's huge, because the harp and the sword are here. And has he already been in Cantlin also? So the token will be the only thing left for him after this.
Yeah, AmazingToaster has been in Cantlin, so knows where to find the token. Hopefully he can remember where to find the Staff of Rain cave, as that was quite some time ago when that was located.
But I kind of like the routing decision. There were still a lot of chests that he hadn't been into, but now once he gets through all of these chests in the mountain cave, he'll know he still hasn't found the token, so maybe it'll be time to go track down those that location. Possibly saving the princess, or possibly trying a count. You know, he doesn't want to go through the trouble and then it ends up being the flute, right? So if he gets to the final chest here in the mountain cave, he'll actually acquire the flute in a chest, and he'll know for sure that the token is at those coordinates that he found earlier. So that will be the last thing that he has before going into Sharlock. So I feel like a slight advantage goes to Toaster right now. As Crystal still hasn't found Garenham, although Will Wagner is in Garenham now. So.
I was about to say, Will Wagner has found Garenham, so that advantage slipping away, and Will Wagner also has Wayland, so he will be able to locate that token, and will only be missing finding the Rainbow Drop Cave. And don't look now, but Tristal's in Garenham.
Yeah, and Tristal for sure saw the Rainbow Drop Cave before. I don't know that Will actually stumbled upon it yet. I think AmazingToaster had seen it earlier.
If I remember correctly, it wasn't that far away from Garenham, which it would seem that Garenham actually was not far to be found. It was just south of where the mountain cave was located.
Well, it's funny because I saw Tristal in the Rainbow Drop Cave for sure, and it took him this long to get to Garenham, so getting a little bit trolled by the NPCs guarding the last treasure chest, which is the Stones of Sunlight, so understandable why they would be guarding such a treasure.
And speaking of not looking now, but there is Smashy having found Garenham, and that it will at least be some good information. I don't believe Smashy has any keys yet, but with having found it, at least knows where it is, so it can come back.
Ooh, yeah, that would be unfortunate. He does have the harp and the sword according to our tracker, so I missed him going through Mountain Cave. But yeah, if he did have keys, he would be right on track with the others, actually. Because, you know, not too much more is going to be required. You don't have to get to level 20 in the seed. So it's really a race to get these items. And Tristal is counting this out manually, as you can see by the stutter stepping there. The landmass did go off to the southeast from Tantegel, so it is countable.
Yeah, certainly not impossible. Maybe a little bit of a difficult count, but not impossible. And Will Wagner has picked up the token. So only thing left for Will Wagner is going to be finding the Rainbow Drop Kit and maybe making an attempt to get a shield of some sort.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if all of them have actually seen Charlotte Castle. We saw at least somebody found it, but yeah, that's going to be it. Get the drop and get into the castle. That's Will Wagner's plan right now. Can he do it faster than the others? It feels like it's going to be very close between these three runners, actually. Has Tristal abandoned his count? He's still on the count. Sometimes when you get interrupted by these monsters while you're counting, it can be a real nuisance. You lose track of what's going on, but he's an experienced runner. He's very likely to do this count successfully, as long as he doesn't die in the process.
And there is level 20 for Tristal. So, although there was a bit of a disparity between levels for a while there, Tristal, AmazingToaster, and Will Wagner have all managed to at least match each other in levels, and not that far apart in experience, really.
Yeah, and somewhere along the way, you often in Chaos Seeds just hit a wall where you need like 10,000 experience for the next level, so that it could be that this is just the last level. I don't know that we've seen the message from the king or anything in a while, so you never know what the next the next number is to hit. And if you use the princess, you can also get that information as well.
Yeah, that is true. That is the other function of the GPS, is she will tell you how much experience you need as well. Tristal does successfully count the token, but there's a rainbow drop.
WillWagnerMusic, if he knows where Sherlock is, he has a chance to win the race.
Oh, don't look now.
He is wandering as if he doesn't know where Sherlock is. He is still walking around.
Well, don't look now, but there's a Tristal hopping into the Rainbow Drop Cave, and maybe...
Oh, I see. Will is going to set up a grind for the Silver Shield. I'll tell you what, at this stage of the game, it does not matter. Go fight the Dragon Lord, because you are going to let some runners walk right by you if you go ahead and do this. I feel like this is... I wouldn't do this at this stage of the race if I were him, but clearly that's the only reason why he would be in here now. He's going to take these chests and Death Warp back and gold grind, and there is Tristal, walked right by Will Wagner, who had a chance to win. Tristal is going in first.
And here we have AmazingToaster, knows where to find the token, but I think is looking for that Staff of Rain Caves to turn in the Silver Harp.
Yeah, that was on the second continent, right outside the exit to the Swamp Cave, correct? So I don't know how much second continent he ended up exploring, but...
Well, I know
AmazingToaster back over there.
I know he definitely saw it. It's just that it was so long ago. It was, that was very early. Now he sees it. Yeah.
Tristal halfway around this short Sherlock Castle already. And many Sherlock enemies in Chaos are extraordinarily difficult to run from, but he does get away from the knight.
Oh my, and I just noticed, at level 20, that MP count, 161 MP.
Yeah, this is like, unless you get like one shot or two shot by DL1 or something, because you have not very many hit points, but the other stats are just completely insane. If Dragon Lord 2 has sleep and high stop spell resistance, it's really nice to have a lot of HP, which of course is what they don't have. But otherwise, this fight's already over.
And we actually I'm not too positive as to what Will Wagner's doing here. Looks like a slow grind in the grave. But we do see there is a significant difference here at level 20 without a shield, 74 defense power, whereas Tristal has 94.
I think you're right. It is a slow grind in the grave. There's one chest in that top 3 that's gold, so he would have to pick it up, I think, 2 more times now to have silver shield money. Maybe 1 more time. I think it was in the low 8,000s. And DL1 for Tristal. See if he can sub-hour this seed here.
And Dragonlord won with weak breath and attacks not so bad actually. Only 16 damage at 94 defense power. So really the Silver Shield would only be a benefit here on the Dragonlord 2 fight, making it to where his physicals cannot do more than 48 damage.
So he starts off with a stop spell just to see, and it did not land. So there's a decent chance that it does not have spells, but of course, you know, it might just have some stop spell resistance. So you don't know. He took 1 shot at it and it didn't land. Let's see what happens for the rest of the fight. Haven't seen the sleep spell yet, and if he doesn't cast it soon, this fight's over.
May not even have a sleep spell. We could possibly see a heal, but with 167 attack power, you can overpower what a heal can do. And we have Will Wagner heading into Sharlock, but will it be too late?
Yeah, did he go ahead and stop somewhere for the Silver Shield while we were watching the Dragonlord fight? Because that was the intention there. He has no gold right now, so I assume he has the Silver Shield.
Yeah, he did.
And he's on his
Silver
way.
Shield.
Well, that will make it so that the Dragonlord can't physical him for more than 48. You know, with 74 defense power, it's a little more sketchy. But well done, TristalMTG. It's going to be your first place finisher in under an hour.
And as we see a question we already being posted in chat here. Ask Will Wagner about the choice of purchasing the shield. That'll certainly be something that Will Wagner might just be giving himself a kick for, but Tristal will have a official time of 56 minutes and 47 seconds.
Yeah, it would have been super close depending on how far away from Sharlock he was physically. Like, Tristal was in go mode probably 30 seconds after Will, but yeah, detouring at the very end of the seed to go get the shield seems to have cost him the race, but you never know. Maybe Dragonlord would have hit him for 50 because he didn't have a shield and he would have died, so. But now, the formalities, he's going to dispatch with this Dragonlord pretty easily.
Alright, this won't
he has a chance for a sub-hour seed.
Yeah, this won't be nothing but an exercise of just taking out the Dragonlord. AmazingToaster I saw, I believe, picking up the Rainbow Drop as well now, so we should be seeing AmazingToaster making their way into Sharlock here in just a moment, unless we have a shield purchase coming on Toaster's side. And Smashy actually has done quite a good job here of catching up on experience and the exploration. And does find Remolder now, so has keys and will be able to go back to Gernham and pick up their Stones of Sunlight.
Yeah, once Smashy was able to actually get started, he has done a very nice job of scouring the map and getting caught up exploration-wise. Just a little too late, as AmazingToaster is halfway around the castle, and WillWagnerMusic is just about done with his fight.
And looky here too, on we get a little bit of a stat comparison at level 20. So 107 HP on the Strength HP build versus 99 on Strength Agility. But the agility difference was 95 agility on level 20 compared to 88 agility. And I believe we are joined by Tristal.
All right, GG Tristal, well done.
Thank you. It's a relief.
A relief, as you guys were all kind of borderline for making the playoff run in particular, so a 5-point victory I think pretty much secures it for you.
Yeah, I think I had done the math. Second place probably still got there for me, but higher seed is definitely better, so this is real nice. Chaos can be pretty random, so I'm happy to walk away with a win here.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty back and forth battle. It's quite close between you and two other runners, actually. You were all looking for the last thing that you needed pretty much at the same time, and you were all pretty overpowered, so it was just a matter of who was going to actually explore and find the things that you need to get into the castle. You managed to do it just a few minutes faster, so good exploration.
And speaking of that second place, we do have WillWagnerMusic in second place with an official time of 59 minutes and 40 seconds, so just shy of 3 minutes behind.
And AmazingToaster's halfway through his Dragon Lord fight, so you guys were all covering some ground. It felt like Toaster got off to a lead. He was able to get the armor on the first try. I think Tristal, you had a couple of failed attempts at that blue dragon fight, or maybe even just walking across Hawksness.
Yeah, just one time failed, but it was really early on, so I wasn't too concerned about it. I was just trying to go for a quick hurt more kill. The worst time loss for me was right at the beginning of the game, trying to grind on those Wolf Lords. I just had completely horrible encounter luck. I wasted somewhere between 2 and 5 minutes just trying to find Wolf Lords or even Rogue Scorpions to level on it. All I kept running into were werewolves and Droll Magi that didn't like me very much.
Yeah, the Droll Magi I think eventually did yield a ton of experience also, right? But they were hard to fight in the early going.
Yeah, I managed to do an excellent move on one, and it's still... it actually decided to cast Heal, so at least it gave me an idea of how many hit points they had, so I figured once I got hurt more, I could be okay on those, but not enough to kill it early on. But that's alright, because there were 2 enemies in that first zone that were killable, so that's not so bad.
And
you all, or at least 3 of you, got off the ground pretty quickly, finding the Rogue Scorpion relatively fast. That was, of course, the Wet Noodle, I'm fairly certain. And yeah, those Wolf Lords were real nice for you guys, so the early levels went by fairly quick. You all did kind of the same as what you're describing. It's just grinding in that zone by the castle for a few minutes looking for those, but it didn't take any of you a really long time. And then it was just trying to get out of that narrow stretch. There were some tough monsters where it seemed like you guys were kind of penned in for a little while before you could really go out and look for the items. But after that, it was just a race for who could find it faster.
Yeah, we didn't really get any useful spells early on. It took us a while to get hurt more finally. But in the meantime, we got so much power and MP that it was totally fine once we did. So
what'd you think about the HP? Is that being a major struggle for you guys?
Well, it didn't really bother me too much. Not a whole lot of things really hit that hard, other than Druids and I guess Magidrakis and Magicians. But, we got hurt more. We got high enough power early on that nothing was really a problem. I didn't feel like I didn't die too many times, so it obviously didn't affect me that much.
I think getting that first few levels where you could run into either a Wolf Lord or perhaps some Rogue Scorpions in the beginning, sorting through the werewolves in the beginning was tough for me. But after I got those first couple kills, I got hurt more and I was able to explore the map. It was a pretty nice map.
WillWagnerMusic, congrats on the second place finish, which puts you in a pretty good position to make the final 16. We don't know for sure what the cutoff is, but congrats on your second place finish.
I kind of looked ahead a little bit at where the standings were, and I get the bump of even you get one for fourth. But I figured if I got in third or better, I should be okay. And I got pretty lucky with how I got the keys and was able to get through the map. So once I got onto the Sharlock, I was approaching Dragon Lord and I see the done come in from Tristal, and I'm like, oh no.
So, Will, we all have a question for you. At the very end, it looked like you had an opportunity maybe to get into Sharlock about 30 seconds faster than Tristal, but you decided to take a little detour and go get that silver shield. Do you think still that was the right move, or do you kind of regret doing that now?
The thing is, I knew that the large shield was available, but I thought that I remembered in the grave that two of the top 3 chests were gold, but they weren't. And I'm like, I could have just gone into Sharlock and gone into the treasury there, and 2 of them would have been gold. I was kicking myself for not going into Sharlock. You are right.
Or even just maybe trying to fight the Dragon Lord without a shield, because you guys did have huge attack power. And so as long as the fight wasn't too difficult, with sleep and things like that, maybe you didn't need the shield, but I don't know. It was better to have it for sure, but it just took you a couple of minutes to get it, and Trista walked right by you and got first place. But so we all wanted to ask you about that, but either way.
What's crazy is that I thought about that where I was at, because I was about at 4,000 gold when I started to grind, and I'm like, if I get the large shield, I should be able to do it. But I'm like, if for whatever reason I can't, I need to guarantee that I'll be able to finish this no matter what. So I just want to ensure that I'd be able to finish it in under an hour, and I was luckily able to.
Yeah, well, nice job on that. And of course, from the perspective of not necessarily needing a win, but you needed to come in the top 2 or 3 in order to secure a playoff spot. And that may have been the safe choice as well. So, yeah, congrats on that. Not sure if I'll have to see because AmazingToaster has finished already as well, right, Ryu?
Yes, AmazingToaster did finish and was with a time of 1 hour, 2 minutes, 2 seconds, and I believe is in here with us as well.
Yeah, I probably could have won if I would have found that mountain cave not last. I don't know how I did that from where it was.
Yeah, you got off to the best start, I felt, out of the 3 of you that finished closely.
The first thing I found was a rogue scorpion, which that had to have been the noodle, and then I found those wolf men and started smashing them, and that was some great XP, especially because those first few levels were really high XP.
Yeah, they weren't real close together like you'd expect for a very fast experience seed, right? You would kind of think that you would have had, level 7 and 8 almost right away. But yeah, and this one, I think between 4 and 5 was kind of a long wait. So you guys were all forced to just stick around and kind of look for those wolf lords.
Yeah,
which you did. Yeah, I think you completed that task a bit faster than the others. So you were off and running and exploring while Tristal and Will were still grinding in the early levels. And so you did find, what were the things that you found quickly? I think you found keys quickly with Rimmeldar. But yeah, the mountain cave eluded you the whole time, but you found everything else, I think, first.
I had fast armor because I went over to Breckenridge, got items and slept up, and I had to hurt more, so I went over and saw it was on the square. I was like, let's try and hurt more of this dragon down, and it worked. So I got the armor real early.
Yeah, it's frustrating when you miss a location on the map like that, and you're just like, oh, how did that happen at the end, right? So, because I think you're right. If you had found the mountain cave just in your travels, you had a good chance to win this one.
Because if I would have found the mountain cave early, I probably wouldn't have dug the grave.
Well, you do get 2 points, I believe, for your 3rd place finish. Did you start with 14 or did you start with 16 here?
14.
So yeah, so it puts you up to 16. I guess we've updated that already for you. So that's right around where the cutoff is going to be. You might have a pretty good chance to get in the playoffs. What do you think?
Should be a decent chance, I think.
I think the first round of the playoffs is another chaos seed. Is Ryu? Do you know about that? I think it's just straight chaos, if I recall, with none of these other things with short Sharlock and all that.
I will certainly double check.
Yeah, it's standard chaos.
So you guys got that to look forward to. I think.
Yeah, if you want to put it that way.
Oh boy.
Yes. It seems like a love it or hate it kind of thing. I know, Ryu, you're sort of notorious for loving the pain and suffering type seeds, so chaos must be right up your alley. But For me, I'm not so sure I love it, but we're going to see more next week.
Chaos is certainly my favorite. And yeah, week 6 will be standard Chaos. Those who are not the biggest fans will be happy when it comes to week 7, as that's going to be standard with 100% experience speed. But then week 8 and 9, we're going to get a little crazy with Chaos Big Swamp in week 8 and week 9 with standard Big Swamp.
Yep, so playoff action starting next week, and that's all. Those are all going to be fun rounds to watch as well. So yeah, the 3 of you guys got off to a similar start, while Smashy had a real struggle in the beginning, so that's why he's still out there now. He is not level 19, but he got started way slower than you guys. Still needs to, I think, get to the token, and might still be looking around for the Rainbow Drop Cave and that sort of thing too, but looks like he's going to try and wrap up the seed while we're chatting.
HP was terrible for a long time.
Yeah, Tristal was saying he wasn't too bothered by that, but it looked like you guys, at least in the medium levels, were taking a few extra deaths because of the very low HP. It was like, I think level 12 you had like 38 HP or something. And AmazingToaster, you went Strength Agility, correct? So I think you had even less.
Yeah, that's how I like to play Chaos, is Strength Agility.
Yeah, just a little bit tricky on these really low HP seeds, but yeah, by the time you guys were ready to go, at least you had enough to be Dragon Lord eligible. I think you were in the low 100s. But...
Well, yeah, the HP, while HP was kind of on the marginal end, MP was just off the charts crazy. So.
That's the reason why I wanted to stay around the castle to begin with. I didn't have enough of the healing magic, and then when we finally got heal more, I didn't have a good use for it because the HP total was so low.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess like one at a time, if you guys are all still in here, what do you all think of the league so far and the fact that you get to play totally different flag sets every week against decent competition? How's it been?
Yeah, as far as the league goes, it's a nice change of pace from the tournament, not having to worry about hardcore practicing the same thing a ton of times. But on the other hand, half the time it's chaos, which is not my favorite, to put it delicately. So,
well, it worked out for you in this race tonight, so. But I totally understand the sentiment.
I think that I like the variety of having the set map for the 1 week, having the chaos flags, having the week of the standard, like a position round, and I think I wonder if there's a way to do a set type of map, like you have one big continent week or something like that, where you can guarantee that the map is all going to be one giant plot, so maybe it'll go faster. I'm not sure.
Yeah, perhaps in future versions of Randomizer, there'll be ways to tweak that. I know that even in standard flags, probably 1 out of 20 or so seeds that I run actually just happens to be one continent. But I'm not sure why that happens so rarely, or if it's even supposed to ever happen at all. But I do notice it once in a while, but I don't know how you would force it unless somebody, went ahead and found a seed and didn't tell anybody, and then that was the seed everybody runs or something. But yeah, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, and I'll say I'm glad. What was it? The second round that was, or I'm sorry, the fourth round that was standard.
You talking about the vanilla map or the just all standard round?
Yeah, the no randomized map. I'm glad it was changed from the original plan, which was nothing randomized at all. Which.
Except for where the monsters are located and stuff like that, right? It would be it wouldn't be just a vanilla run, would it? Where all the monsters are where they normally are. I don't remember if that was the plan.
The way I understood it was, I think it was just straight vanilla. Have fun. This is.
Oh, jeez.
It's just it's so you pulled the chaos lever so hard it broke off and overflowed or underflowed, and
gotcha.
now there's nothing rando, which was
so they were just going to do it with
weird for a chaos league kind of thing, but
Yeah, it was gonna be. It was gonna be a super speed run, so it was gonna be what all of the like stat changes from rando, but
so like
all
you
the
gain
monsters
experience.
and everything.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, you'd still get the enhanced experience at least, but yeah.
One of the things I was just thinking about when looking at the groups for the league is that the difference between first and second and third and fourth might be a couple points just because one of the guys was able to get a second place finish as opposed to a third and won a lot. But it's going to be really interesting as you get around to 6th through 10th place, kind of like in the NCAA tournament, because 1 point here or there or a Buckholz score, and instead of going in the 1, 8, 9, 16 matchup, now you're looking at like the 3, 7 bracket just by having a barely noticeable slight difference in point total.
Yeah, that's one thing I can give a huge props to Game Boy or whoever came up with the plan for rounds 3 and 5 being with people that are really close to you in points, so that can make a big difference. And I really like how that works out. Scoring for these, especially with the 4-person races as opposed to just, Swiss or single elim 1v1 type stuff. It takes a lot of creativity to come up with something that works well. So I really like that aspect of this league so far.
Nice. Yeah, I actually, from a kind of a viewer's perspective, I like particularly that week 5 was seeded, because now you're looking at people with similar scores throughout the whole tournament, right? So that gives you a really good chance of racing people that are of like similar or close skill level.
Yeah, exactly. You're not just like, oh, dang, my group has High Spirits and Scorpion Max in it, and I died, So with this one, you feel like, if in most groups, if you win your race, you're in good shape. So
that's what happened in week 3. I had High Spirits and Scorpion Max, and I died.
That sounds about right.
Luck of the draw, right? So, yeah, some of the randomized seeding, that's definitely, I think that's happened even in previous tournaments where you just get matched up really in an unfavorable way, but that's the way it goes, I suppose. But you persevered, and it looks like you are going to be moving on to the playoffs. That's good.
Yeah, to be able to claim that you still are going to make the playoffs even after that is pretty nice to have in your back pocket.
I want to say a special thanks to you guys for being able to get this all together kind of on the last minute. I know we had some scheduling potential problems, and thanks for getting this all together at the last minute.
Nice. I'm glad all you guys were able to work out a time that worked out for everyone, so it's good. And Smashy is now fighting the Dragon Lord, by the way, so he's able to make up some ground, and yeah, he was way behind in the beginning. Looks like he'll be able to get through in under an hour and 20 minutes, potentially, so kudos to Smashy for finishing it out.
Oh, so yeah, okay. He wasn't a bad Dragon Lord. I just put him to sleep.
Yeah, sometimes that's how chaos gets you, is you just tend to struggle a little with the early game leveling, and I mean, once you get going, it's like any other game. I almost
feel like the middle part of chaos is oftentimes even easier, because you can very quickly find triple-digit experience monsters to kill, right? Whereas in standard, sometimes it's more of a progression, and it takes like a little longer to get through those middle levels.
Yeah,
I find the middle portion of chaos can actually be faster. It's the front end and the back end where it could really be a problem.
Yeah, I think I agree, where if you get through the initial, it's kind of like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, I compare it to, because if you can get through round 1 of Chaos, you got a good chance of winning the fight, but it's just surviving all those punches in the beginning. Because I think I took on something like 11 or 12 deaths from werewolves just in the first 10 minutes. It was pretty rough.
So getting those first couple levels is kind of like the first minute and a half against Tyson you're talking about? He's just throwing haymakers.
Yeah, okay, you see a lot of flashing screens.
I could agree. I mean, I've never, personally, I've never played. I played it, but I've never been good at Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, so I've never gone against Mike Tyson. But I
we're
can
playing
definitely
NES
agree.
era games here, so it's a valid it's a valid analogy. Smashy is finishing. What's his time, Ryu?
We have a official time of 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 18 seconds.
Well, overall, this was a fast and relatively enjoyable seed. It seems like everybody with, well under an hour and a half. And I wonder if Smashy wants to come join the party here for a few minutes, since it's still pretty early. I think we should tell the viewers there's another race which started up recently on, I guess, Randomania 1, correct? Or just straight Randomania?
Yeah, we do have on Randomania 1, we do have another race current, and that is the Seawolf, Centroid 41, Zarnax 42, we're counting up now, and Jay Cooper. And looks like we are Smashy.
Smashy. GG, man. How'd it feel?
Blah.
So you enjoyed the chaos, is that right? It looked like the very beginning of the race just went very poorly for you as opposed to the rest of our runners here. Just getting those first 4 or 5 levels.
I just kept encountering werewolf after werewolf. I think what I did is I tried to use those deserts, and it wound up both deserts are outside of Zone 0, where all the good monsters were, so that wasn't working out. Then I tried to make a break for the towns. That didn't work out because the best thing you could get was bamboo pole and leather armor.
Yep. A lot of expensive stuff in this one.
Not gonna lie, I got that bamboo pole.
I did too, and then I just kept encountering werewolf after werewolf trying to get off the ground, and I think that's what did me in.
Oh, without a doubt, that's the difference here. In this one, it looked like you got started about 20 minutes after everyone else in terms of exploring the map. So, yeah, just a tough start, which is not uncommon in Chaos, where somebody just has a much more of a struggle with those early levels. But just, you got the bad end of the RNG this time. And I think that puts you kind of on the bubble for the playoffs, Smashy. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, that does. I did a bunch of math early. I know for a fact this just eliminated Newbie. Eternal Newbie, I think, just got eliminated by this.
Really? Okay. That's some advanced knowledge. A lot of the races kind of affect each other, just the way the scoring is going to be working out. So, absolutely.
Yeah, I mathed it out. As long as either me or Toaster did not finish last, Newbie still had a chance, but well, not anymore. So I think
you have a tiebreaker advantage over him. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, that's what it is.
So you still have a shot then to make the playoffs. You're right on the bubble, I think. So have to wait and see how these last few races go this week.
So you're saying there's a chance?
So do any of does the race tonight on the other network affect you at all? Between Seawolf and Zarnax and all that?
No.
Well, I think there is still going to be 1 or 2 more races later in the week, though, correct? That haven't been scheduled, and maybe you'll have a sweat and see if they affect your final standings. But
I think the big race is on the 3rd. That Captain Green, Basp, Schubinator, and Brysolf race. I think that's what's going to decide everything.
Well, I think that if Jay Cooper wins, it hurts your chances, but I think that you would prefer to have Centroid win to have the best numerical chance, but I'm not really sure because I'm not as familiar with this.
Yeah, that sounds accurate to me. Because if Centroid wins, he's still only got 15 points.
Centroid actually has me on tiebreakers, I believe, so that doesn't help me.
Oh, no.
Well, I don't know if tiebreakers have updated for this race, because your tiebreaker should improve more than his. in this placement round because you played better or higher pointed players anyway.
Oh, well, that does change stuff up, but yeah, I came in here tonight with one goal, and that was to not be last, and Werewolves was just like, nope.
Whoops. Well, appreciate all you guys coming in for a chat and putting on actually a very close competitive race for the most part. You guys showed us what's possible in Chaos, and those of you who are moving on are going to have another Chaos round next week for your playoff lives. And what else can we talk about, Ryu? Feels like we're getting ready to wrap up so that we can direct everyone over to the other race, which is happening on Randomania right now. They are potentially about a half an hour into that race, so you can catch up on the happenings and see who's going to win that one.
I did want to mention. Sorry, I did want to mention one more thing. Right now, AmazingToaster and I are locked at what's equivalently 7th place, and because the average point total that you get for each round is something like 2.75, right now there are so many close races that could be flipped entirely if someone under us happens to win 5 and takes away points from some of the other racers. So I think that Toaster and I might be anywhere between 9th to maybe I would say 15th potentially for the next round. So that's just crazy that going into the last round it's this close.
Yeah, and just with a few races left in the final round, how it could affect things that much. And it'll be interesting if there's a reveal for the playoff round kind of like after the last race this week. Someone can explain what the heck happened with all these tiebreakers and all this stuff. So, but yeah, it sounds like most of you guys have a good chance for continuing on. So congrats on that. And I guess let's wrap it up so our restreamer can move on.
Question, though.
You have another question? All right.
What was in that last chest in Mountain Cave?
Oh, that's interesting. That was actually the fairy flute, which gives a little bit of information to some runners that the token had to be on the map, potentially, depending on, if you already found the armor and you found the flute in a chest and Cole had nothing. So yeah, but I think Tristal also failed to get it on his first try.
As fast as the dot duns were coming in, I was expecting that was token.
Okay.
Because I picked up Erdrick's sword and then I took a peek at my stats and I was like, whoa. This was not AC lacking in strength.
Yeah, you'll see if you watch this back after. It was really a story of just those first 4 or 5 levels, just getting the right encounters for you anyways. The other 3 were pretty close in how they were progressing in that stage, and you just
okay, actually, one more question. How much HP did the Droll Magi have? Because I was trying to get them, but I couldn't.
I wonder.
And they wound up being huge experience.
Do we have a special thing that our tracker could show that? Because one Hurtmore was, or one somebody.
I know one Hurtmore did it, but I want to know if
it had to be around 50. I actually managed to critical hit one early on after a primary attack with like 10 damage or something, and then after I did that, I did like 41 damage to it. It cast heal.
Hooray! We have it up.
Yeah,
we have it up on our tracker. So 58 hit points for the Joel Magi.
Okay, that was something I was suspecting myself, but it turned out to not be the case.
Yeah,
I guess
it did have the 75% baby breath, which was what was getting you guys in the early going with the low HP you had.
I guess it was just what was it? Wolf Lord and Rogue Scorpion all day.
Yeah, the Wolf Lord was the best enemy to find in the early goings at over 200 each, and that was in Zone 0, so you had to be just in the plains right next to the castle. So yeah, when I think, like you said, when you were going off into the deserts, it was actually hurting you. You were finding the wrong monsters for a little while.
But yeah, I'm gonna head on over to the other race and then go sleep for too long. So good night, everybody. Hopefully I'll make it through.
All right. Good night, Smashy. GG.
GG.
Reusation. What do you think? Are we ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, I think that'll just about wrap it up for this race.
All right, guys. So everybody out there watching, thanks. Make sure you give a follow to all of our awesome runners tonight. They did a great job. Special thanks to our restreamer Garion. He picked up this race on very short notice at the very end. We had one of our other restreamers had a last minute conflict, so we were in danger of not getting this one aired for you guys. So appreciate Garion stepping in for that. Our tracker Cyberdark, excellent job as always. And Reusation, glad you could join me tonight. It was fun. So that'll do it. Definitely head on over to Randomania for the other race, and stay tuned. There's a couple of more races later on in the week on the Randomania networks that will have heavy playoff implications. So come on back for those. So that'll do it. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.